Nicola Ludlam-Raine is a registered dietitian with over 15 years' experience in the field. I'm hoping she can help clear up some of my confusion.
So first of all, there's no such thing as good and bad foods. It's about the portion size in which we eat them and how often. So what I like to talk about is swaps. So let's say you are having fatty or red meat every day. Maybe swap it for some white meat, or even better, 2 portions of fish a week, one of which is oily.
Portion sizes, you say, is key, but if you have got high cholesterol, I mean, I'm looking at that piece of meat there, which is fatty. I'd imagine that would be a no-no at any point.
I like to say moderation, not deprivation. If you are having a joint of meat like this, make sure that you're cutting off as much fat as possible. And when you're cooking, think about cooking in something like a vegetable oil, rapeseed oil, or even better, an olive oil, as opposed to things like butter. So butter in moderation is fine, but the unsaturated fats, the fats from plants, are the best for our heart.
That'll be the plant sterols then. And that's dinner sorted. But I want to know if I'm setting myself up for morning life in the best possible way each day.
I make overnight oats. I have nuts in that, some raspberries, some blueberries. Honey's an interesting one, right? Because I noticed that that doesn't have saturated fat. Is that a good swap? Is that making a difference to my life?
So when it comes to our heart health, we want more unsaturated fats. And when it comes to honey, that's actually sugar. And research shows that we should be cutting down on our free sugars or added sugar. So a little drizzle on your porridge oats is fine alongside those fruits and nuts. The other simple swaps is when it comes to our carbohydrates. So if you swap a loaf of white bread or white rice or white pasta for brown, you're getting more fibre and more whole grains. And what we know is that fibre in the gut helps to mop up the bad cholesterol and helps to improve your cholesterol levels overall.
Right then, ultra-processed food. Where does that come into it?
We know that having a diet that's high in UPFs, ultra-processed foods, isn't good for us. What matters most though is the ingredients. So don't get too bogged down with, is this a UPF or not? What are their main ingredients? What nutrients are you going to be getting from that product? And how often are you having it? Not all ultra-processed foods are bad for us, and in this case, they do indeed help to lower cholesterol. However, the jury's out when it comes to, do they indeed reduce the risk of heart disease or cardiovascular disease?
So in 3 months, if I did another blood test making those changes, would you expect my total cholesterol to go down?
You can expect to see around a 10 to 20% reduction, depending on the start diet and depending on what changes you make, and also depending on other variables like activity, also alcohol, things like your genetics matter too though.
So that's my diet questions answered.